Okay, welcome to the Urban Farmer Grow to Launch Milestone 3. This is a pre-production launch and some extra videos. So the pre-production testnet has to be deployed with the smart contract, the tagged sidechain and client relayer, and the pre-production Urban Farmer D app deployed. There's an instruction video and document to show how to use the app platform. This is the video. The document is included in the app itself. The website is available. It is. I'll take you in live app and bring you to the front page. And we'll use these are testnet wallets. We're in Eternal. We're in pre-production testnet. We're going to use this GM Cardano wallet here. It's the current D app wallet. We're going to come here, and there's the fin. This is the specifically an Urban Farmer sign-in key. Once you sign that with your wallet, you're granted the ability to see the farms page here. I'll show you a couple of things. We can add a farm. It costs 1,000 ADA to 1,000 RESI to create a farm. So let's call this a Catalyst test farm. Admin contact will be me. And we'll say this is in Cardania. 8 shelves and 8 spaces per shelf. You can change these numbers. I can do 6 shelves and 8 spaces per shelf. I'll do 6 and 4 for this test. Create farm. It's going to have me create the transaction to send the 1,000 RESI. And create the farm. Then you submit the transaction. And you'll see here that it's submitting the transaction. And this is going to just take the normal transaction time. And when it does, the farm will be completed. There you go. The farm is up and running. Cropchain is here. You can see this is actually the testnet chain with the computed routes. This is an open one, so it hasn't been anchored yet, but we have closed seasons that we've tested from earlier, and you can see the anchor transactions where the finished, the computed route and the anchored transactions. So you can see finished sidechain farm seasons have completed. You can download an archive of any closed season for 1,000 RESI. We have multiple closed seasons here, and sometimes you didn't have active plantings as we were testing things. Basil, broccoli, romaine, and dill, and it's shown a loss of a crop already, so that keeps the records in the side chain of the loss, so you know what crops are growing and what crops, if any, have been lost along the way. So go back to the admin section here, and that side chain uses a Merkle tree at the end, so it's a computed route, and each transaction along the way occurs in the side chain, and then at the end, it writes out all of the transactions that occurred during the growing season into a Merkle tree that can be cryptographically proven at the end, along with all of the necessary food traceability standards, and we'll get to that at the end of the demonstration here. But now that we have farm and rack, we have to open a season. So we can label the season anything we want, and this will be Catalyst Testnet season. There we go. We'll start that season up. Again, same deal. Now this time you only have to pay a hop chain. And you'll notice that this is going to a Plutus v3 address because this is the smart contract side. This is one of 2 smart contracts we have, which is the beacon that starts the crop season. So it it signals your intent on the main net that you have started a season, and tracks the season route so that you can prove that your season was valid at the end. So again, now submitting the season beacon, it will just take a moment again while we're waiting for the transaction to end up on the line. There you go. Transaction went through, and as soon as it did, you're immediately shown the racks. And again, we did a 6 station. This is actually just like our racks in our farm, 6 by 4. So we have 4 spaces and 6 rows in each of our racks on our farm. So now, just to show you here, the crops that were required to be ready for. So let's look at romaine. Here's romaine, and there's the video. Video's there for you. You can hit play and watch the video if you need to learn how to grow the particular crop. It gives you some information about the crop. We also have dill, as was requested. And here's the dill video. And again, same deal. You can watch the dill video start to finish if you'd like. And we have the teen mixed lettuce video right there. And basil. Mixed microgreens. That was the other one. Sorry, guys. And then the mixed microgreen right there. The superfood mixed microgreen. So again, all of the videos that were requested are there. They're live. You can watch the videos themselves. Let's say I'm going to plant this whole top row here with mixed microgreens. So I'm going to start by planting the first tray. Before water, a tray is typically about 200 grams. Of course, I'm making these numbers up now, but you would weigh the tray. Clean, well dispersed seeds is there. I can go to the Cropchain. You can see Catalyst Testnet season is open. You can actually see that the mixed microgreens were added. You can see that it was planted and that the initial care occurred on the first crop, just like that. I'll go back to the grow desk now. Notice that it turned green here. I'll show you by doing another one whenever I plant the next space. You'll see that it starts out amber like this because this is a part of our chore list. It automatically, if it knows that there's a step that you need to do for a crop, it actually makes them amber. If you've done something for the crop in the day, it goes green so that you don't have to do that. So do 200, 800, and clean, well dispersed seeds, saving that as well. And I'll just quickly continue. See here, I can quickly plant all the spaces first if I wanted to as well. And say put basil in this row. Trying to rush here, but I think you get the general idea here. Because it is catching up to me as I, but again, this is using a sidechain, so it does take, a few moments to compute the roots of each crop. And so now that I've done that and I've got, got a lot of good crops in here. This is basil, so it's actually going to be, you're not going to see dispersed seeds. You're going to see the moist soil on top. Anyways, just very quickly there, now you see we've got 5 crops here. I'll show you that the 5 crops are showing up here in the active crop map. You see that they are sidechain records for the initial care and the planting of each one. Each one creates the cryptographic root that builds the next one, just like any other sidechain. That's how this is built and designed, and it uses the Cardano's the smart contract on Cardano as the root anchor, and then the closing anchor. So you can always compute that this crop was but for quickness sake, I'm just going to say mold was found. Mold on the crop. Discovered mold. Destroyed crop per SOP, and then save that. And then that will open the space back up so you can plant a new thing there. It records in the Cropchain, which again we'll take. Recorded, so you can. So at the end of the season, you'll know how many crops were planted, how many were lost, and those kinds of things. You can compute water usage, all kinds of fun things with this once you're to that point. The daily maintenance looks like, you just come in here, and before you watered, it was 800 grams, and because it was 800 grams with water and it was nice and ready to go, it stayed at 800 grams, and we didn't left it alone. Now these daily care notes don't go directly to the sidechain. These are stored in a database, and then at the end of they are a summary of daily care notes are kept. But again, anytime it will take the daily care of that crop and store that with the final note of the destruction. And then anytime a crop is harvested, which I'll show you now, when a crop is harvested, it also takes and puts a summary of the daily notes. And this is before harvest. Let's say it was 800 grams. After harvest, the tray is only 120 grams because you cut off all the good parts. Now it helps you compute what is being actually packed. Harvested, clean leaves. Obviously today we're just making it up for there. There you go. Now, once you're here, this is for your packaging. This is for your food traceability, and so it automatically calculates a food traceability pack and TLC, and then you need to put you have to put the quantity that you harvested. So let's say it was 600 grams. And we'll save that. Now, notice it opens the tray back up. You could have in one season, you could have multiple rounds of trays, especially with microgreens. A season might last a month for us. With other crops, it could last 6 months. And so, we have different lengths of season based on whatever the user wishes to do. Then lastly, let's say let's go ahead. I would need to go ahead and harvest. Let's say harvest the last of these crops real quick. And then one more. Sure, that one. Oops, I got to harvest that one. Okay. There you go. And last one, we'll do a harvest again. And just waiting for it to catch up to me. Sorry, there we go. And let's say it was 600 grams there too. It's fine, whatever. Okay, there. Now the racks are all empty. We've harvested everything. So because we've harvested everything, we're going to go into the season. We're going to close and anchor the season. So Catalyst Testnet season will come up here, And again, 100 RESI will close the season. We submit this on chain, and we give it a moment. And there you go. The season was closed and anchored. So you can look at the Cropchain here, and you can see that it's no longer an open season. You go to closed seasons, and you can see the Catalyst Testnet season is closed with 20 records. You can retrieve the JSON here. Oh, yeah, we downloaded it unsigned. Yeah, so that's just it. You can just retrieve the JSON. You don't have to sign it. You can right here, and you can see the inputs and outputs from each of the actual testnet transactions that had to do with opening up the season and closing the season. So it all took place on the testnet, and the data is stored there. And I will drop a link that will let you see the record of the finished transaction, so that you can actually use the on-chain. It's just a link that you can use the on-chain computation to prove that the transactions that occurred in the Cropchain were recorded through the Merkle tree on the mainnet. And then you could choose to do the download of the Cropchain archive here, and you could prove it out yourself cryptographically if you'd like, which is primarily for the government agencies and those sorts that are requiring the food traceability. Food traceability has been moved to January of 2028, so there is still some time for farmers to adopt these technologies, but it was originally 2026, but there was they gave more time to do food traceability. So we now have U.S. farmers now have until January of 2028 to implement this, and obviously we're hoping that our tool is one of those tools that people choose to use for food traceability. So, and that is a complete rundown of how you would use the Urban Farmer D app in the testnet. Next up for Milestone 4. Will be the same stuff, but production deployed, along with the last 4 videos, all of which are produced. There's some final edits being done, and they're going to be uploaded in the next day or so here. And we will produce the video for production as well, and then we'll produce the closeout report and the explainer video. But everything that works, this is the pre-production testnet, so everything works. So we don't have, and we already do have it live on mainnet. We just making sure that we've met all of the other requirements before doing the video for mainnet. And that's all. Thank you for your time and attention today.